All right, everybody, Rob Ferretti here, and I just got an email, and the title of the email was Wrecked Lamborghini. And essentially the substance of the email was, I wrecked my Lamborghini and I could use some advice. And let me just be proper about this. I was referred to you by a friend. I wrecked my Performante and insurance doesn't want to give me any depreciation for the accident, and there's $102,000 worth of damage. They won't total the car either. Any advice? Well, yes, I do have advice. And let's just say my advice starts out with try not to crash your Lamborghini, step one. But let's say you do crash your Lamborghini, and now what do? Now, it really depends on what you want to do with the car. Like, it depends on the damage. I don't have the details here as to how significant the damage is, because on a Performante, which is a new car, the damage could be a front bumper and headlights and just like basic stuff, which should not total out the car. But if you want to force your car through an insurance total because you just don't want it back, like, you know what, I smashed up that car, I don't want it back, how do you go about doing that? Well, simple answer is you go and find other comparable cars and see what they sold for. It's not always possible. There's a couple of different factors. Now, a car will be totaled out by an insurance company, not just because you don't want it, but because the value of the repair costs X amount in relation to how much the car is valued at. So now you have to either get the cost of the repair up or the estimate up, or you have to get the value of the car down, or a combination of the two. And this is only if you want to do away with the car, and I'll tell you the pluses and minuses. Now, to get the value of the repair estimate up, you do one of two things. An estimate will generally come with the initial estimate. You go to a shop, they look, and they're like, hey, it looks like it needs this, this, and this. There's something in the body shop world, and this goes for all cars, which is called a supplement. And virtually every repair has other stuff that they understand, the insurance companies get it, that when they estimate a car, there could be a supplement, or likely will be a supplement, for something that they couldn't see. It didn't make any sense to take all the stuff off, but there is a secondary invoice for other work that had to be done to repair the car properly. Very, very simple, very straightforward. So if you want to get your initial estimate up, you can do one of two things. You should definitely shop it around, go to different body shops. With something like a Lamborghini Performante, which is essentially a collector's car, you would want to bring it to a Lamborghini certified body shop, but let's just assume he's already done that. So you can get competing estimates for the same repair. And then on top of that, you can get a more detailed estimate from the same company. So it will cost you money at this point in time to do so, but have them remove the body panels, not just do a visual inspection, but see if there's something hidden under there, because on a Lamborghini, there could be one part that could be $10,000, $20,000, and that's a 20% jump on the initial estimate cost. So you want to get that car dismantled, and you're going to have to do that anyway if you decide to repair it. If somebody decides to repair it, you're going to want to tear that car down and see exactly what it needs. So anything that has to be replaced will be replaced. That's one way to get the actual estimate to be as true as possible and as essentially as high as possible. Now, the other thing that you'd have to do is you'd have to lower the actual value of the car. If you say you get the repair cost from 102 to 130, in order to total that car out, the car can only be worth, just say, $200,000, whatever it is. I don't know what the actual metric is, if it's 50%, 60% of the value of the car. So you have to now take that car and bring the value down to where you need it to be. And the only way to do that is from actual sales, if there are sales. And I would start with wholesale if you can get access to looking at like Manheim auction results or something like that. That's going to be the bottom of the barrel. Now, that works both ways. If somebody wants to increase the value of their car for look, my car is totaled, I want to get as much from the insurance company as possible, you can provide comparable sales on the car, and the adjusters generally won't do this, because if you say, like, look, my car has the special edition package, or it's got this, it's got that, and I found 3 other Aston Martin DBS Ultimates, because you're just giving me based off of DBS. I have a DBS Ultimate, and the Ultimates sell for $50,000 more. That's how you can get the bigger number as far as an insurance check, but it also works the other way, and you could say, look, all these cars that sold had window stickers of $330,000, and they sold with 1,000 miles. And my car, I had a window sticker of $250,000, and I have 4,000 miles. so therefore my car is worth significantly less. So you can play those games to try to get it where you want if you want out of the car. So that's very, very easy. And that's one way to get out of the car or have a car totaled that initially wasn't totaled by the insurance company. The other part of his question is regarding diminished value. And obviously this is all a negotiation. There's no hard and fast rule, but an insurance company doesn't want to be sued by you for not handling a claim. So a lot of the times, and the car has a value. If you're underestimating the value of your car and they total out your car, now remember, that's the double-edged sword. Yes, they totaled your car, but now you're going to get a check for what you say it's worth, which is $200,000 versus what it may actually be worth, which is $230,000, $240,000, whatever it is. The second thing you're going to look at is diminished value. Now, he was asking about diminished value. That's something where your car is damaged, it has an accident, and now it's worth less. And you're not going to really see that too much in the way of like your normal fender bender with a regular car. You'll see it if you damage a rental car or something like that. There'll be $70, $200, $400 for diminished value on it because they're entitled to that. And it generally happens when you damage somebody else's car or somebody else damages yours. It's generally not something that I think insurance companies cover on your own policy unless it's specifically written in, because the last thing you want to do, and obvious reasons for that, like say you're behind on your payments on your car. You go take a key, you rub it up and down your car, you say, oh, now I got to repaint my whole car. Somebody vandalized my car. I don't know who it is, so I have to make the claim on my insurance. You're going to have to write me a check for $10,000 to repaint my entire car, and then you're going to have to give me a check for diminished value because now that my car's a complete repaint, it's worth $30,000 or $40,000 less. Insurance companies caught on to, let's call them schemes or scams like that, and I don't think they will cover diminished value if you make a claim on your own car, whether you crash your own car, whether your car is vandalized, whether it's something like that. If somebody, in the case of a third-party damage, so that means somebody else's insurance is paying for the repair on your car, you can almost always get diminished value because they have damaged your property and your property is now worth less. So the fact that somebody else is paying the claim, the same way you don't have diminished value on your policy for your own claim, but if you damage somebody else's car, your insurance will write a diminished value check for them. Diminished value is the diminishment of value is the lower value your car now has because of the damage, because it was a repaint, because it has paint work, because it was a significant repair that's going to cost money. Any situation where your car is now worth less because of this repair, you can go after an insurance company and they will pay it as long as it's a third-party claim. Now, here he's asking, and he followed up, and I just shut my computer, but he said there was no citation issued. He's making a claim on his insurance. There was no citation, so meaning he did not receive a ticket or whatever the damage is on the car, which is a significant amount of damage. He did not receive a ticket, but it was also not somebody else's fault. So whether that's a tree branch fell in his car, whatever it is, I don't believe he's going to be entitled to diminishment of value. I just don't think it's in the cards on it because you're making a claim on your own thing. And a lot of the times you go damage your own car if you're driving off and you drive off the road and you say like I hydroplaned off the road. Yeah, you went into a ditch. You may not get a ticket because the weather conditions caused you to hydroplane, whatever the circumstances are. Maybe you know a cop, so they don't write you a ticket. That doesn't mean you'd be entitled to diminishment in value because you still damaged your own car. Whether or not you were cited for it, you still did the damage to your car, and that's not something that insurance companies are going to pay for. You've got the coverage if you damage somebody else's property or if somebody else's damages yours, but to avoid fraud, to avoid anything that's superficial, it's a situation where they don't cover diminished value on your own policy. I could be wrong, but I've yet to see that. I've never made a claim on my own personal policy anyway, so I couldn't attest to that. But if the insurance company is not willing to pay for it, that would be the logic behind it. So what happens if you damage your Lamborghini or any vehicle? You want to try to get maximum value. You want to try to get out of the car. There's a lot of factors that come into play. I hope I clarified some of those for you, and you can navigate your way through the claims process a little bit easier, knowing what you can adjust, what you can affect. You don't have to just take the numbers that an adjuster gives you, and you have a right to repair your car wherever you want. So you should keep that in mind when selecting where to get your car repaired so that you're comfortable with it and that your insurance company signs off on it and they're also comfortable with the repair as well. Thank you for watching. See you next time.